If institutions matter, why do we keep behaving as if they don't? We focus too much on leaders in Pakistan, but essentially, countries do not succeed because of personalities. They succeed because their institutions work. Pakistani state has three key institutions: executive, which is the government, parliament, and the judiciary. Our parliament is the key institution from where each government is elected. However, when a government is born out of a parliament, parliament is the first institution that it sidelines, even though parliament is the very institution that provides legitimacy to each government. Parliament is where laws are made, budgets are approved, and ministries are held to account. But most leaders in Pakistan, no matter which political party they belong to, have tried to weaken this institution. And especially, they do so the moment they come into power. They bypass the parliament. They avoid debate. More often than not, they don't wish to attend the parliament. They rush laws. They ignore committees. And they ignore the entire edifice on which accountability of an elected government depends. When a government sidelines the very institution that created it, Parliament becomes merely symbolic instead of a functional institution. And once this key institution weakens, democratic oversight weakens with it. In fact, our entire democracy weakens with it. The second most important pillar of our institutions is bureaucracy. Be that civil or military bureaucracy, no government can really function without a stable and competent bureaucracy. Bureaucracy provides continuity, expertise, and service delivery. But instead of strengthening at least the civil bureaucracy, every government has tried to bend bureaucracy to its will. Political interference becomes the norm through postings, transfers, and selective promotions. Loyalty is rewarded more than performance. And that creates a system where officers focus on survival, not service. Frequent rotations mean no continuity. Bureaucracy starts serving the state and the government and not the people. Third key institution is judiciary. The role of judiciary is to protect citizens from the excesses of power and to ensure justice for all. But our judiciary has not been able to provide that role, at least not to the best of the capability that it's been given in our constitution. Governments, both civilian and military, have interfered repeatedly in the affairs of judiciary. Over different phases, courts have either been too compliant, too assertive, or have reacted simply to political sentiments on the street at a given time. This inconsistency has hurt trust. Not just hurt the trust of the citizens, but also of businesses. When judiciary becomes weakened, it almost weakens every other institution. Now, how does it impact the citizens? I think young Pakistanis really need to understand that point. When governance performance cannot be dismissed and popularity cannot be ignored, mature democracies manage both. But in Pakistan, we've managed neither. Pakistan's institutions have been weakened not by one party or the other, but by decades of political, military, and bureaucratic choices. The polarization that we have in the country also brings us to this point that if I argue that governance is more important than popularity of politicians, people will assume that it's a political argument. But governance, we must understand, is not a political argument or a regime argument. Same way that popularity is not a rebellion argument alone. Both are democratic imperatives. But speeches and charisma do not build countries, no matter how much you believe otherwise. Only strong institutions build strong countries. So judge your favorite leaders fairly. Judge them on the questions that whether they strengthened institutions or did they weaken them. Did they empower the parliament? Did they protect the bureaucracy from political interference? Or did they actually promote political interference in bureaucracy? Did they respect the courts? Did they ensure that courts were not politicized? Our democracy is not threatened by charismatic leaders. It is threatened by leaders who choose not to strengthen the very institutions that will and have built the country that we are today.